we're going to model a lamp for the purpose of using it for our forward and inverse kinematics animation lesson. So this is just something that I grab off the internet to kind of just copy, and what I'll do is not include the wire and whatnot, because I don't want to kind of go into rigging just to get that thing kind of conforming. All right, so we'll just kind of set it up kind of very similar to this. See what we can do with it. Okay, so the base right there, we'll be using this cube. All right. All right, so we'll just something like that maybe. It has some bevel. We can add that now. So what I'll do is go to Object here, apply the transform scale, hit Tab to go to Edit mode, go to Edge mode here, and then I'm going to bevel. Probably just like that, just a little bit of it. Okay. And then I'll add some segments. Right click, shade smooth. All right, that part is done. And we're going to make sure that it's positioned according to the global axis, X, Y, and Z, right? Flat to the world, so we can easily set it up. And I'm not going to position like this, it's just going to go straight up, because that way we can do the parenting and then set it up for forward kinematics first. Okay, let's try and tackle this one right here. Let's incorporate those kind of vents for it, and then where that clamp will eventually go. All right, so let's get a cylinder. All right, and I'll probably be okay with this one here. So what I'll do is position this, let's move it forward like so. It's still centered to the world along the Y, and the X is just offset there a bit. Okay, so let's say that's the top part, and then we'll scale it into proportion later on. Let's see here, let's scale it. And then let's create the bottom here. I'm going to go to face mode, select this one here, and then we will extrude that. And it's kind of eyeballing this. And we'll scale it. Put it to be that part right there. And then Control R right here. And we will scale this as well. But we will bevel this. Let's kind of expand that about like that, and then I'm going to go with change its shape. Well, maybe the, let's see here. I want it to bulge out a little bit more, so I'm going to click undo. I will scale this like so. Let's see how that affects it. All right, well, I think that's better. Probably add a few more. Okay, so we got that one, and then the last one right here. We will extrude it again. Again, just kind of eyeballing it. Scale it. Control R. Do a loop cut here in the center, scale that, bevel. All right, we know for sure we're going to need a cut right here, so I'm going to do a loop cut close to that center right there, and then what I'll do is I'll scale it in a little bit just so that we can get some sort of like a cut right there. And I'll probably do the same thing right here. Okay, and then the lip. We'll delete this one. So faces. Let's go here and extrude it. Right click to cancel, then I'm going to press S to scale. All right. And it probably just kind of tapers out. I'm going to go GZ to lower that a bit and then scale it a bit. Like so. Add a Control R here, loop cut, and scale that. And bevel. Too much on the segments, I think. Let's take a look, see if the shape can. We'll just leave it a little bit of bulge right there. Okay, and let's see what else we can do here. I think we can just end it like that. All right, so now for the top part. So this one is extruded and scaled. Maybe it can go up a bit. And most likely inset faces right here, then extrude again, and that becomes the part for the cable if we decide to later on to add that. So I'll just extrude and scale it and like so. Okay, and let's soften this up a bit. Control R right here, and it's kind of getting that dome shape right there. And all right, that probably will do. Okay, and all the openings right here. I don't know if they're kind of hollow for ventilation. We're just going to extrude them in, probably it would be best. Or so I will add 3 rings like so. Control R, and then I'm going to go to the front right here and select. Let's say we're just selecting every other, or we'll have a gap. Oh, I just messed up right here. Hold on. There we go, and then we'll have a clamp for the back side. So here we're gonna do an extrude in, but let's make that local. Let me click undo for my extrude. Extrude. What am I doing? Global right here. Let's do extrude manifold. Along normals. Okay. So that when we extrude it, it follows the orientation of the selection. Okay. So, and let's go back to select tool here. Let's take a look. All right. So maybe that's kind of good enough. Right click, shade smooth, turn on our auto smooth on the normal. That's that, and then let's apply a solidify modifier to give it thickness, even thickness, and then let's take a look how thin this should be. giving me all sorts of all right, only rim is what we want. There we go. Okay. So at least we got some thickness right here. We don't have to kind of add it. Okay. And we'll leave that modifier alone, and in case we need to change it. So we probably have to scale this, but we'll leave that alone in there for now. Okay. Let's work on the other parts. It looks like okay. So we'll start with a cylinder in there, and then we'll connect it to this part right here. That looks like just a cylinder in here. All right, so let's get a cylinder. I'm going to scale this to the top viewport and kind of eyeballing where that should be, maybe right there. And we'll move it up. We will scale it. So that will be used kind of like a way to pivot. All right, shade smooth. Go to smooth right here, and let's start giving it sort of kind of like a material, so it doesn't look too plain. Let me save this as well. All right, let's make that metallic. All right, and let's make it a little shiny. So let's call this one the metal. Let's give this one the metal thing as well, and this one. All right, so and then we'll change their roughness later on, how that works. Okay, now let's I'm just going to use this cylinder right here. All right, and then I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to apply a scale to it so that whatever thing I do next, it's going to align itself to the shape. Okay, I'm going to go to 1 right here, and then let's hide this for now. All right, so this is my duplicate right here. So I'm going to RY90 to make it stand up. Let's kind of position it here. Okay, looking at this one. All right, so it's kind of thin. Let's scale it. All right, probably good enough right there. And probably scale it a bit. All right, so what we need to do here is we don't even need to create a hole in here, because this thing will be kind of blocking it. Okay, like a little knob. And yeah, so we just need to kind of flatten it over here and connect it to there. Okay, so I will select all the faces from here all the way down, all the way to the other side. I'm going to press backslash so it centers it. And I forgot my screencast. Backslash basically it toggles, it shows everything, and then just that one by itself, so you can work exclusive to that one. All right, so if I go to the side, that's what it looks like. I'm gonna press E to extrude and just kind of flatten that. That would be SZ0. There we go, and then probably extrude that one more time so I can do the bridge later on. Okay, so we need backslash here to show everything, and we need it probably right there, a little bit here, a little bit going up, and we're just kind of eyeballing this, folks. So, and the thickness for this one, we're going to go to the front. I'm going to duplicate this and move it here. let's say up to there. Okay, I'm going to select the two together. I'm going to join them. Control J, they become one object. So now when I go to edit mode, I can select all the polygons here and bridge them to the other side, and it will work. If you don't join this two objects together, you will not be able to make any connection with their components or sub-object like vertices, edges, and faces. So this is all matching here since we just duplicate it and move it. Okay, so I'm going to right click and then bridge. All right, so we got that part, and we're going to need this one again here to connect to the other side. So I'm just going to select this. There we go. Make sure you don't select anything extra. Extrude is going to go here to the center line. Okay, and then I will apply a mirror modifier. I'm going to use this object as my center, and I'm going to merge those. No clipping. All right, so I will just do XZ right here until it just stops right there. It can't go past beyond the what it needs. Okay, and this one will lower it so that it kind of connects to this. All right, and then probably scale this a bit smaller and go up. Oh, is it a lot smaller? Yeah. Okay. And what did I miss right here? So the base, it actually has a height, so we're gonna have to make changes to that. This will have to go a little bit higher right here. I can lower that, and then what about the center? It's lowered, so we probably have to block this, or we can just leave it like this. Make that a little bit smaller. One way to do it is to just since this is not really connected here, we can go over here and do our selection here, and this is mirrored to the other side, so we're just doing it over here. All right, and then I will do GZ to raise that up. Okay, and that should do it. All right, and then I'm going to apply a scale modifier in case we need to bevel. We probably have to bevel just a little bit here. All these lines. Okay, so I'm going to press number 2 and Alt Shift click till we get all those parts right there. Same thing here. Alt Shift click. All right, what else can we bevel? This probably. Shift click that one. And this one as well. And let's see the bottom. I'll click it. So it went all the way around. Alt Shift click. Shift. So I'm just trying to look at all the corners that we can. Definitely this one. All right, so all those, and we applied the scaled already, so we can just right click right now and bevel and drag, and it has, let's see, we have maybe 3, maybe 4. Let's take a look. All right, so now let's turn off our auto smooth right here. And let's just kind of see shade smooth. Alright, didn't like that, so let's increase it still remembered the corner. Oh, okay, I know. Undo. We inherited the bevel that was oops, let me see. I'll click. Oops, why am I not getting that? Oh, I was hitting command, sorry. All right, when we bevel this one, we gave it a shape, so we got to bring that back to normal, which is 0.5. There we go. So that gives it that nice curvature. All right, so we get that beveled look. All right, that solves that. Let's see if I go 60 degrees. If it all right, it's fine, probably right there. Okay. All right, so we got that part, and we just have to build I guess the wood part right here, and we can create those kind of knobs where you can tighten them, or all right, let's create this first. So all this will be kind of straight lines going up, so we'll leave that. We're gonna hide the base for now. Okay, we'll go number 3 right here. Let's get a cube. All right, and then I'll just kind of position that in there and scale it. And it's slightly bigger. Okay, go to the front. Scale that so it fits. Gonna move it like that because we got to give it an area right here to for it to kind of rotate and not hit the bottom. I have to move it a little higher. Okay. I'm not sure if it tapers. It's just optical illusion on the photo, but it does look like it's tapering. So I will go to the side right here, select this face, and kind of move it up. Let me use my move tool here so you guys can visualize it easier. Probably around that height. And I will scale this, tapering it like so. A little bit, and then to the front, I think it gets tapered as well. All right. And we'll just be using this same one here to kind of connect to that. So, all right, let's leave it like that for now. It's probably going to be taller. Let's see. Maybe something like that should be fine. Okay. Object, apply scale. There's some sort of beveling on this one for sure. So let's right click and bevel. Oh, sorry. Number 2. Bevel edges. All right, that probably will do. Okay. Right click, shade smooth, and let's just kind of give it just a color right now so that we could see. Okay. And we need to mirror this for now. Use well, let's show the base. We'll be using that as the center so that it perfectly match the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate this one more time right here. So this is where we probably did this wrong right here. It's way too separated, so I'm gonna go here and just make some adjustments right now. X-ray mode, go to edit mode, point mode, select all this, and then simply kind of like that. Okay, and we'll select this. Since it's all mirrored, it will follow along. Okay, and then the other issue here probably would be this one kind of going closer a little bit, but I'll wait for that one until I duplicate it. So let me duplicate it first. Duplicate. I'm going to remove its mirror. It doesn't need a mirror. And I'm going to try and position that centered. We can go with a number here. You know, it's the item. We can make sure that it's centered along the X. I'm going to type in 0. Okay. Bring that down a little bit. Probably a little bit more. Let's turn off X-ray. And we don't need to move any of this. It just kind of works for it. We just need to most likely scale this. So it kind of fits. Okay. Or maybe scale it even shorter. All right. The beveling might have been skewed at this point, but we don't, yeah, we're okay with that. I don't think we'll see it. All right, there's that, and there is this kind of contraption right here with a cylinder. So that's what we have to fit on top of this one here. Let's get to that. Let's get a cube. Just bring that cube right there. We'll scale it. I'm going to go to a wireframe right here so we could see. All right, that's probably fine right there. Okay, let's go to the side. Okay, it's a little bit bigger actually, so I'm just going to go scale it. All right. All right, so here to the front. Okay, we'll move this up a bit. All right, so we just need to kind of curve it, you know, so we'll just, it's actually super simple. We're going to solid mode here. Go to edit mode, select the faces here. Oh, I mean, yeah. That one, the bottom, and the back. Oh, sorry. The back. Delete the faces. We got this one. Let's apply all transform to this. I'm going to add a solidify modifier, even thickness right there. Then just kind of go to the front right here. Let's see how thick we need it. That's probably fine right there. Just, okay, just gotta. Its pivot point's way down there because I must have moved it when I was in edit mode. So I'm gonna go set its origin or its pivot point to the geometry. So it's now here. So I can just lower that a bit. All right, and that's that. Let's apply the metal material so we kind of see how that's going. Select everything. Apply the solidify in object mode. Then we can select everything. Go to number 2 for edge. You can right click and bevel as well. All right, it's probably okay. Let's undo that. Let's not select everything. We don't want those beveling. Everything else but those. right click bevel, shade smooth. All right, there's that. So it needs a cylinder on top, so let's take care of that. So we can do this several ways actually, but let me take a look. It's probably just a cylinder, but it has kind of little okay, let's just make a new one. Let's make a cylinder and put it there. So let me just duplicate that cylinder right there. Okay, so we can reuse it. And then we're going to name all this later on, whatever appropriate names they need. Okay, so we'll scale this down. It's going to go to the top. Okay, go to the front. All right, so let's say that's how that's attached to that one. And we'll give it another cylinder. So I'm gonna get another cylinder, duplicate it. All right, and I'm gonna rotate it RY90. There it is. Let's move it up around there. All right, right there. And then we can actually, we already have one. Let's just write that part right there. So let me just get rid of that. I'm going to duplicate this. Shift D. Let's move one up. No mirror for sure. All right, here we go. And we just want to keep what we need, which is up to this point right here. So I'm going to do Control R right there. Okay, and then I'm going to do S scale along the Z at 0. So we flatten that. So we have sort of like a thing where we can select everything so that we need up to that point. So I'm going to select both of those. Control plus. Then Control minus. Oh, it's not doing it. All right, so how many do I have? All right, right there. So I'm just going to go Shift and drag. All right, everything in there I need. So I'm going to do Control I to inverse the selection. Press X and delete the face. All right, and that's what we have. So I want to make sure the origin on that it's to the geometry. We're gonna go scale it, bring it over. Now go to the side, scale it, and kind of increase the size a little bit. Go to the front, make sure the X is on 0, so it's centered. And there we have that. Let's take a look at the photo, whatever, what we need to. It's all kind of hidden in there, so now we need the clamp. All right, so the clamp can be this again. All right, so we're just going to go to the number 3 right here. We're just going to duplicate this. All right, scale it a little bit. All right, we're going to the top right here. We're going to move it to the right a little bit. And the sides, we're going to do RX90. Actually, RX minus 90. So it's this way. But for our purpose, it needs to be straight until we kind of position everything. So that would be undo RX 180. So it's pointing up. Okay, so we're kind of not resting it like this one. We're positioning it exactly as that one is. All right, so we'll go grab the hidden lamp. RX 180 as well. All right, and then we're going to make sure that this one kind of connects to that. So this one will be pointing this way actually, because it has to be kind of sideways. So RX 90. All right, so we might need to increase this size a bit, and all this we probably have to increase the size a bit as well, except for this one we need to make it a little bit short. All right, right there. And then this one needs to be facing this way, RX 90. Okay, and then we'll position this. Let me see. Actually, it's on this one. I'm getting confused. Oh, sorry. All right, so that one is actually, so it's quite big right here, whatever the attachment is. So they get, it's fairly big. Okay. So this one right here is it's quite a bit of a size. Right there, and then this one can't point up, so RX minus 90. All right, so it's actually attached like this. All right, except it needs to be going down because we need to see how far along it can actually do it right here. So it will bump into this. So we want this RX minus 90, like this one. Actually, this is what we need. Put it right here. This one needs to RX minus 90. So it's pointing up, so it can connect to this. All right, so we just have to move this up and go like this, kind of like there's a tiny connection there, and we can just mirror this for now, and we'll select this as its center point. All right, and it will be Z. There we go. All right, so that's the connection of that, except we need to move this up so it has a chance to actually pivot right there. And do we need to make the clamp? Probably not at this point. We can just weld that in there. And all right, let's just add some bevel to this. So I'm just gonna go make sure I got scale on that one, and we'll just do number 2. Select all this here and just right click and bevel, just so that it's not too sharp looking. All right, that looks like it. Let's add the bulb right there. That would be a UV sphere. Scale it a bit, bring it out. Okay, let's say it's that big. All right, or maybe that's way too big. All right, right there. And we're going to shade smooth it. We can always scale that later. Let's give it a material for now. It's just going to be, since we're doing this in EV, we'll just make it an emission right there. And again, just kind of, so now this is a light source. You know, force it to be a light source. There you go. All right, and what else do we need? It's just this piece right here that looks like a pawn chess piece, and then maybe nut right there on the side that would kind of act like a nut and bolt for it. Okay, so let's create the little nut right there. Shift A cylinder. Let's lower the so we just have an octagon or a hexagon. All right, right there. And we don't even need to bevel this because it'll be hiding in there. Let's rotate it, RY90. We're gonna scale it. I'm gonna go X-ray, number 3 right here. Okay, we'll put that in there for now. We might need to change it later. Okay, we'll move it here. Let's give it a same material. And we'll just add a mirror for now and use this base here as its center. We get one on that other side. Okay, and we'll gonna need one also. Shift D with no mirror. We're gonna move it here on this side. All right, and let's see, let me select this face here, press I, and just extrude that just so that we have something to hold this in place. Okay, right there. Okay, and we're going to create the those little knobs right there. Okay, so let's go get a cylinder. We'll increase the subdivision, probably 24 on this. Okay, and let's just move it here for now. At least it's still at the center. And I will hit tab here, select the top face, lower that down a bit, and scale it so we get that base right there. Okay, and maybe lower it a little bit more. Then E to extrude it. Okay, scale that a bit. And then here's the tricky part. We need to make a sphere right here, and if you wanted a single piece, we could do that, or we can just put a sphere in there and then flatten it. So let's just try and model it here. So I'm going to press E right there. All right, and then I'm going to Control E right here, press S to scale it. Then we're going to bevel this right there. Okay, and the top, well, I did say that's the tricky part, right? We're going to have to put a cap to this. Maybe I should have done that with a bevel. Okay, let me click undo, folks. Sorry. Let me try this. All right, that probably will work. We just have to manipulate this one. Right there, make that smaller, put another cut right here. Instead of beveling nonstop, I'll just bevel one more. I think it's kind of the selection here. Just kind of scale it a bit and move it up. All right, that should probably do it. Right click, shade smooth, give it a material. All right, and it has like a turning knob. Is that on the okay, it's right here going from this side, so perfect. We'll number 3. So we'll select those. All right, and then the other side as well. All right, and then we'll just extrude it, but instead of moving it, we'll scale it right now. All right, and then we'll probably scale those a bit, and then we'll just want to make this thing go flat. That would be SX0. SX0. Let's take a look. All right, so add the auto smooth, and let's not bevel those also because they're just going to be part of that one. They're too small. Okay, and let's position those. That would be RY90. We need one on each side, so scale. Actually, I need to kind of do this. Number 2, select all the selection here, and then we'll move this one. We want to give it a little bit more space for you actually to use them. Okay, so we'll not that big. Number 3. Okay, right there. All right, number 1, to make sure it's right there, and we just need to mirror for now. All right, and then we need another copy. Duplicate it. No mirror for this one. We'll move it up here. Be a good one. All right, lower that a bit, and another one for that one right there. So number 3. Probably have to shrink this. It should be smaller. Number 1, back, sorry. So I could see right there, and this one definitely needs to be up there. X-ray mode, select all the bottom parts, move it down here so it's actually connected, and then we're going to borrow this one, duplicate, bring it over here, scale it, and select those, bring it over. All right, so and that should do it. Let me delete that one, save this, and next is part 2 would be naming everything and joining everything, changing the pivot point, preparing it for animation. All right.